All right, welcome to the TFL Talk Show.
Good day, good day.
We have a lot of guests today, and we're going to go ahead and introduce them. I'm your host, Gabe Kollinger. We have Kelson Volkert, former champion, actually last year won the TFL Championship. Lucas Turnwald. Folks.
Howdy.
Yes.
He was on the underrated team.
On the underrated team, and we have Jared McKinley.
Most accomplished player in the TFL.
Wow.
Debatably.
3 rings and took a franchise undefeated.
And a not so familiar face, we have Matt Winterick here.
Wow.
Yep. Rookie. Absolutely.
Well, technically, a leave of absence.
Yes. Leave of absence.
He's back.
Hiatus.
He's back.
He is Antonio Brown of the TFL.
Someone said he's Antonio Brown.
he has made a reappearance.
Made a reappearance in the league. And we're going to start off by just talking to Matt about what brought him back.
Yes.
You know, what got him back into the love of the game. You know, what happened there for a little bit in his off season. Has he done any training? You know, what's going on?
You know, I was just wanting to focus on myself and work out more, and I just wanted to be the best football player I could be, and I didn't want to disappoint, and so I had to be better, and I'm ready to come out.
Right.
Come out.
And one of the
Come out.
one of the reasons why Matt is even able to come back into the league, right, is the TFL is really trying to expand their player width and get more competitive.
Yeah.
Last few seasons we've had some guys that were a real big drop off from the league. And Matt is one of those players that's being brought in to really make the league more respectable. And Matt's not the only one too. You know, guys like Adam Smith, Timmy Touchdown, Jordan,
Ryan Chell,
Ryan Perkins.
A lot of Ryans.
Yep.
Right.
A lot of Ryans.
I mean, there's a lot of new faces. Stats in the league too. A lot of new faces, and I'm excited for the TFL this year. I think we all should be.
I feel like what I would describe the TFL as is it kind of got pruned. It got pruned, and then some new fruit grew. And I love the new fruit that we have in the league this year. Absolutely have some fantastic talent out there. I'm very excited for it. We're going to move on to our first topic of the day, folks. The first topic of the day is, who is your best rookie, in your opinion? And Matt's going to try to be he's not a rookie. He's not a rookie. Okay.
What's the rookies? Who are
the rookies on our list that you can choose from are Adam Smith, Ryan Chell, Ryan Perkins, Ethan Stetzel, and Timmy Touchdown.
Perk's gonna be the
Or
best.
turnover. Whichever one.
So we're gonna start with Matt actually.
I don't know.
Matt doesn't really know these people.
It depends. It depends on what you're looking
All
for.
right, so Jared.
I mean, this is just a round table, right?
This is just give your opinion, and we're gonna kind of talk about it.
We're all talking here.
All right, go ahead.
You
Let's
know,
hear your opinion.
I mean, I think it depends on. I think Timmy's best quarterback, hands down. He's gonna be the best quarterback in the TFL. There's no
The only thing I have a problem with Timmy is his mobility.
right.
Can he get out of the pocket when the play breaks down?
Right.
Yeah.
And he might be a defensive liability out there.
Yeah.
Right.
So overall talent.
Maybe it's a little lower. I think Perk is just a better Adam. He can do everything.
Adam can do
Way better than Adam. Adam's good, and then Perk is even better. I mean, I don't think there's anything Perk can't really do. I think Timmy's a better QB, but other than that, is there really anything that Perk can't do? But I could see Perk not going top 2. I could see him going number 3.
So who do you have as your number one?
Well, I don't even know who has the number 1 pick yet, right? I don't know
Who's
who
your
has the
number one
pick.
rookie? Who's
Number 1 rookie? I have Perk, overall skill, Perk.
Okay.
Wow. So the only thing we have with Perk is, I mean, I've only seen him play basketball a few times. I've never seen him even touch football.
He's an athlete, though.
He is athletic.
I think he played in high school. At least.
Did he play football in high school?
I think he played a year.
That's a lot. That's something that a lot of people don't have.
Adam
on their
played
resume.
too.
Adam played.
Adam played, but
Ryan
isn't Adam
played.
older? Adam's older than Chuck.
No,
No,
they're the
same
same
age.
age. Oh, shoot.
Yeah,
Well,
I
one of
watched
them-
Timmy play last.
Both of them are also married. Plays a factor.
Yeah.
But Adam's got a kid
injury
on,
prone.
and Adam's got a kid on the way. So
He's gonna be throwing
dad
that
bod.
thing.
Adam's kind of a what is it? What was it, Lucas? What is Adam?
That's for later in the show.
That's for later.
Okay.
We'll get to it.
I will agree with Jared. I think Perkins is the best overall rookie coming in. Tim, I think he could be a liability on the defensive side. I think he could. I mean, there's some speedsters out there. I don't know if he can keep up with them. Smith, I don't know with him.
He's kind of
We'll
wild.
see.
He's a wild card.
He is. I think he has potential to be the best. Chell, he'll fit right in with the team. But Perkins, I think, is the clear best rookie with the most potential. But if you're going for a safe look, I think Tim might be the safest pick, though.
Really?
Because you know what he brings in the
That's
offensive
true.
side.
That's
You
true.
know what he
that.
brings.
You don't know that with other guys.
And the other guys, there are a lot of question marks. So
That's
we'll
true,
have to
that's
see.
Yeah, Adam wants to be a quarterback.
Yeah, which I feel like he could be a good QB.
Uh,
I'm not saying he's gonna be better than Callan or Tim, but or even Stets. A lot of people are sleeping on Stets. I feel like he's very under the radar.
I forgot about Stutz.
Everyone forgets about Stets.
He's also one of those guys that I think he has a clear position. You know, he's going to be a QB, I believe, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I think he wants to be a quarterback.
If he wants to be, I think he'll be a decent one. I think he is capable of being the QB of a championship team.
I do too.
I've only seen him
He's
for
on the
one
right team.
time.
He
It was
threw
a good throw.
Yeah. I mean, he can throw the ball well. He sent a Snapchat video into
That's what I'm
a
talking about.
TFL group chat, and
I
it
think
was to
Stets-
like a 4-year-old, but it looked pretty good.
Stets-
It was a
Stets
four-year-old
is-
ball.
that
Stats is
ball.
very underrated.
He
I
is.
feel like he's very. I think
he
his
plays.
getting jacked.
defensively he could guard a mediocre number two receiver. I don't see him guarding a number one receiver, but a mediocre number two receiver he could lock down. I feel like, or if you need him to, he could pass rush. But I don't. If you're spending a first round pick on him, I would want him to cover someone. You know, be another corner. That's just my opinion.
Yep.
But I mean, it depends where you want him, what your team looks like. We still have no idea what teams are looking for, really.
Yeah. I mean, it's what your team is. Like, are you a receiver as a captain
Right.
who's trying to build by getting a quarterback in the
Right.
first round, or are you a quarterback trying to build with good pieces?
Or maybe you're just versatile and you're just looking for athletes, like
Yeah,
Perk.
like Callan.
Yeah, Callan's just looking for athletes. Callan
he can play both
I think if
positions.
Cal gets
He's looking
Perkins, we gotta watch out.
positions.
Yeah, that's for sure thing. Cal. Right now, the draft order stands as Jackson has the second pick. I have the third pick. We're waiting on the next pick. Cal has the next choice. I could see Cal going with the first overall pick.
That could be a tough team to beat if it's Cal and Perk and
I know, and Cal just needs
Yeah,
another.
tough team
That's
to
a
beat.
tough team.
Yeah, that's a tough team. Now, here's an interesting question. Who do you think the worst player in the entire league is?
Wow. Who are
Yeah,
the
this
players?
one might hurt some feelings, but we need to get it out there. Wow. Who do you think is going to be the last pick?
I need to see a list.
Yes.
So I'll name the players, but here's a list. We have players who are not captains: Lucas,
Smart, though. So
Israel,
smart, though.
Kelson,
Oh, that's a Caden.
Jake Dressler, Jimmy Bunner, Adam, Chell, Timmy, Stets, Perk, Matt, and Jared Holmes. So I'll start this one off. In my opinion, I think that Jared Holmes will bring the least
Really.
amount to a team.
Last year, what did he do?
Really, I mean, but the thing about last year, he's on a team without a captain. Really, I mean, Justin Hicks filled in, but if Braden's on that team, it's a whole different team. I think Jared Holmes is capable of more than a lot of people think.
I think he
I think he
does
does
bring
go bottom,
really good
though.
energy to a
Right.
team, and he's all in.
And there's
Steps
things
into a team.
you could coach Jared to. Jared doesn't know. You know, he plays a lot. He played a lot of press coverage. I realized that when he was guarding me last year, he just played
Big
some
mistake.
press.
Big mistake.
Big mistake in TFL. That's something you can show someone and you can teach them. You know.
Yeah, interesting. Anybody else have any thoughts on the worst player in the league?
I do.
Oh.
So I don't know everyone, but I think Israel.
There we go.
I mean, he's short. I don't think he's gonna be able to catch the ball.
Right.
I just, from what I remember, like from years ago, I don't think Israel's gonna bring anything to the table.
That's
But
very interesting, man.
All right.
It's funny.
First thought, I thought it could be Israel. I thought it could be, but we got to think about what's he doing right now. He's out there working his butt off for our freaking
shot at.
country.
That's
For
right.
our freaking
Shot
country.
at.
He's gonna come back jacked. He's gonna come back quick.
Yep.
I think he could come back and he could be underrated very
And
quickly.
still short though.
Something that
think
you have to
Jared
think about with Israel is he might have some more mental fortitude. I mean, he's gonna be able to take a punch and roll with it. You know, after getting slapped around by these officers in the military.
I think one thing though with Israel is a lot of question marks because you don't know what he brings. He's like not great at anything, but he's not horrible at anything. Like,
Yeah.
he's a decent QB. He's an okay receiver. Is he good at guarding people? Maybe.
No,
I don't
his
think
defense is
so.
bad.
He might be. I don't know. But he's very smart when it comes to the game.
And he wants it. He wants
and he
it
wants
bad.
it. He wants it. And besides not running the correct route last year, but yeah. Besides that, I mean,
And-
I think it's just.
Israel's one of those guys that has been in the
Push-ups.
league for 4 years and has never gotten that chip. And it's tough to not be able to get that. Kelson broke the
Unbelievable.
Kelson curse this year
No.
and
And
got
Callan.
to Chet. Yeah.
Callan was a
Imagine
regular
everyone
season
in
guy.
Chet.
Yeah.
Imagine.
And Callan curse, Kelson curse, they shattered it last year.
Yeah.
But is there an Israel curse, is what I'm wondering. Whatever team
Yeah,
Israel
just
goes to, it
imagine
seems like they
everyone
don't
in
get
Chet.
there.
That's horrible.
Have you never won a chip?
No.
Oh. There's a Lucas curse.
Yeah.
So is Lucas? You said you don't think Israel is the worst player. Who's the worst?
No, I don't. I'll tend to agree. Because I honestly have gotten chippy in the past years with Holmes, and I think
You have,
he'll get
personally?
exposed. Oh yeah.
Really?
Same
Well,
messages.
we were on the same team 2 years ago, I think, with Grant.
Okay.
That didn't go great, and then I think the year before
You guys
that we
win a
might have
chip?
chipped a little bit. Last year.
Oh, 2 years ago, no, that was
No.
criminals, yeah.
Our team wasn't great, I don't think.
No, you weren't.
But I think last year we chipped a little bit. But I mean, it was tough for him just because their team was so bad. But
Their team was bad. And he played quarterback a lot of time, which I don't see Jared Holmes as a quarterback.
Mistake. All right, next.
I think Justin Hicks should play quarterback. Next topic.
I'm losing.
Breaking news in the TFL this year was that John Bars has announced his retirement from the league. Now,
He's a
John
legend.
Bars has been, he's a legend in the TFL.
Yes.
He had the year with the Criminals. And
Pat Mahomes' year. Really.
he's taken over as a starting quarterback, and not many people thought he could be a starting quarterback when he entered the league, but he's really grown into that position. And he comes out saying via Snapchat that he's out this year,
He's out.
and he won't be
Did he
able to
actually
make
say
it.
that? Because he sent like a picture of like.
Well,
just
okay.
to the
There
golf
were
course.
rumors, speculation going around. He sent a picture of his dorm room to a reporter when asked if he was playing in the league, which kind of insinuates some stuff. The reporter then went and asked and said, "Hey, are you going to be joining us this year?" And he said, "No, I won't be able to make it." So, really sad to lose him. We
So he
love
just
him.
responded with a picture of his dorm room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you tell him it was gonna be in December, winter?
I did. The reporter did. The reporter told me it was going to be in December, and he denied the invitation. There may be there are reports that he has some problems with some guys in the league and doesn't want to join. But that's how life goes sometimes. Any thoughts on that, boys?
I think
I can take it or leave it.
the league's, I think the league's growing too fast for old Johnny Boy Bars. He's a very traditional player. The game's evolving. I don't think. I think last year he had that one good year with the Criminals. He had an okay year with the Krakens up until about playoffs time. He really kind of. It wasn't the John Bars that we were used to. The prime John.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was lack of confidence or what, or if he was just worn out by the end of the season. That's a very. I think he knew it was time to retire.
It's a grueling season.
It was a grueling season. I think he got to
Booth
the
got
place where
smacked.
he needed to retire. He realized, after he threw that pick six to end the game, he realized, I can't return from this.
And that's something you got to think about too. Is the last throw that John threw in the TFL
pick six.
was a pick six. So
Just like
it's
Tom Brady
Well, Tom Brady
on the Patriots.
on the Patriots. Yeah. And devastating.
I got a little comparison here. There was back in the day when I was just a young buck. There was a player for Ohio State, Tyson Mitchell. He got in a fight with a teammate, and he got kicked off the team. Never transferred. No one ever heard from him again. He just went on with life. This is very similar to John Bars's. He just jawed a little bit with some people. Didn't like some of the people. He said, "I'm not going to be back." Just like the guy didn't choose to transfer, he could have. He had talent. John has talent. This guy was the most underrated player in the league at one point.
Yeah.
When he led the championship charge, I fully believe that. And it's very similar. He just said, "No, I'm done. And he has kind of fallen off where just it's hard to get to him. It's hard to even, took multiple tries just to get him to respond. So, seems like he's fully out of it. His heart's not in it. It's probably what's best for the league and what's best for him, hopefully, but who knows?
I will say, John Bars, he retired as one of the greatest pass rushers the TFL has ever seen. If you disagree, you're an idiot.
It's true.
That-
Some were comparing him to Aaron Donald.
He had probably the best stats as a pass rusher. There's no doubt about it.
He just couldn't juke him.
He was insane.
Yeah.
The way he controlled the other QB.
He forced them into a corner, and quarterbacks couldn't get out of that.
Right.
He had one play where Jackson Turnwald tried to throw the ball.
Smack.
Oh no, wait.
That was John
That
got
was
smacked.
John got smacked by Jackson. Okay.
Hence some of the retirement.
A little late. but nonetheless, John Bars was a powerful
Look at
player.
that. That was hilarious.
That was good. I didn't even know that.
So this year with the influx of talent and everything, we want to get a captain's perspective. Jared, it was your first year. Last year as a captain in the TFL. Lucas, we know that you've been a captain before in the past. Kelson, you've been a captain before in the past, and you guys have kind of dealt with that fifth team. Now we see a sixth team join the league. Jared, how was it taking that fifth team and kind of starting to get the ball rolling with that team? What was that like?
You're asking me how my first year experience.
Yeah, and how you think the first year will go for Jackson.
Well, the thing you have to realize, my problem is probably a little different than Jackson's. A lot of people thought, I wasn't the most skilled captain. They had me at the bottom of the power rankings. Obviously, I was taking over a franchise that had never won a game before, so that's very intimidating for a lot of guys. But for me, I had to get it through my players' heads, and I had to show them. I was holding confidence, and I was committed to a team. I showed up to practice, and I had the full game book and the game plan. I said, this is what we're doing, and I was assertive about it. And from day one, they knew that I was the captain and I was a leader. And I think that's something that Jackson's going to have to do. He's not a player anymore. He has more responsibilities. And that's just something he's going to have to deal with. But obviously, he's a very skilled player, more skilled than I was when I first became a captain. I believe I'm one of the most skilled captains now, but Jackson's just gonna have to show some leadership. It's not the same role as a player.
Yeah,
I would like to add something just about being a captain right now. For this year, this is the best talent we have seen by far. In the past years, when we added the new team, it was you're gonna be very well stuck with players that might not go well with your team or whatever. But this year, we're seeing where people are like, well, is it that big of a disadvantage to get the first pick? Because even the last pick is going to be a player that's capable of making plays and making a difference for your team. Why? In the past, we've seen it as, okay, there's players that are probably going to be a liability on defense, probably can't catch much on offense. But this year, we're seeing the biggest, most talent jump we've seen in all 4 years.
Right. It is a big change. And that's something that is going to help Jackson. His first year, there's more talent to go on his team.
Do we think that Jackson's going to win a game this year? I mean,
it depends on
it's very tough to get a win in the TFL.
It's going to be tough this year. I think he squeaks one win out regular season.
Well, depends on that. If you look at his draft spot, number 2, he's going to have another star along with him.
Right.
Or an unproven star that might be trying to prove themselves. So it should happen. I think he got lucky with getting that first spin. His name getting first. And that was big. That was big for his franchise.
Did that happen?
Yeah. So we spun for who gets what picks.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I didn't even.
So let's go over that.
Yeah.
So Jackson had the first choice on what pick he wants, and he went ahead and picked the 2nd and 11th. And then Jared had the 2nd choice, and he picked the 3rd and 10th. And now Cal is on the clock because he has a 3rd choice. And he's going to choose soon. Who's the 4th?
Oh, you get it today.
And then
No,
Grant.
I'm 5th.
I know.
Grant, 4th.
You, then Braden.
Yeah, Grant's 4th, I'm 5th, and then Braden's
Is Braden
6th.
playing?
Braden is playing. Braden has
Really?
informed me that he is very excited to play.
What the
and he
heck?
will be captaining the Fighting Amish again. Making their 4th or 5th year in a row.
Speaking of, how do you think he's going to play? He took a year off.
Well,
Do you think
no,
he's one of those
He didn't take
players?
it off. He was sick.
Right. He
it was
couldn't
actually
make it.
part of the pandemic. He had tested positive
Hence,
for
he took a
COVID.
year off due to sickness.
Due to
It
sickness.
took the whole year off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Personally, I think Braden's one of those players that it doesn't matter.
He's just so
Doesn't matter.
big. He's just
Well,
so
absolutely.
big.
He's going to fly under the radar.
And-
I think people are forgetting how unbelievable of talent
He's
he is.
fast.
And
I definitely do.
He's
And
just
agile.
big and absolutely
And he's been getting shredded in the
bigger.
gym.
He's massive.
He's shredder. You ever heard of a more
Shredded.
More shredded.
shredded? You ever heard of a
Shredded.
26 pack? Because that's what he's got.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
unbelievable. The dude
And
doesn't.
is it all show?
all the
or
dude
is he
eats is kale. That's all he eats.
Yeah, he just.
Kale,
Kale,
he's eating
spinach,
lettuce.
Team should be
Lettuce.
nicknamed.
If it ain't green, it ain't for me. So
Team should be called the Fighting Kale.
gonna- Yeah, seriously.
fighting
kids.
veggies. I mean,
I
come
mean,
on.
we've seen the Fighting Amish. They have some storied history. They went to the championship 2 years in a row in season 2 and season 3, but then season 4 didn't make an appearance right now. Is he going to make it to the championship again? Which would be 3 years in a row for Braden specifically on the Fighting Amish. Well, I mean that's to be seen. And will Israel be joining the Fighting Amish for the 3rd time?
Braden needs a quarterback Because I don't think Braden could play quarterback, but that's not where his strongest abilities are. I think you want Braden as he's more of a runner. You get him in open field, he's going to make plays happen. I don't think
cross Grant.
Right, he's going to make plays happen, and I think if he doesn't have a quarterback that first round, which he has the last pick, so if he gets a bad pick and he's stuck with a not so great QB, that's
but then
tough
he gets
on him.
two decent guys.
He gets two decent guys, but I mean, not a great QB.
What are you thinking for his pick? Are you thinking because I think
for Tim,
if he gets fourth or fifth, he's gonna be fine, or fifth or sixth or whatever it is. He'll be fine because I think there's gonna be a QB out there.
He might get Israel.
They could absolutely get. I think Stets is very.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if he pledges his allegiance to Israel as he's done in the past.
Stats?
Probably not.
No, Braden
okay.
to Israel. I mean, besides when Grant took him right in front of Braden, I think last year.
Yeah. I mean, he probably
big shocker.
would have fallen to Braden.
Yeah, Braden probably would have taken him. They had their little deal. Israel was shocked. Everyone was shocked. But it'll be interesting to see if he does that and goes with Israel as his QB. Which
it does feel like he's a fighting Amish at heart, Israel.
Yep.
And
But I think Stats would be a good fit on his team for a QB that he can absolutely get, regardless of what pick he's going to get. Besides at the first, but I really don't see him getting the first pick.
Yeah.
Just because of the new guys that are going to be stars.
And I think Stats and Braden have a lot of chemistry. They went to Leo together all 3 years. They went to Leo together. They have some chemistry already going. And Stats is flying under the radar because a lot of people don't know who he is.
Yep.
I mean, Jared and I, we go to school with him. Kelson goes to school with him too.
I guess I don't.
Yeah, Lucas also does.
Well, okay, Jared and I, me, Kelson, and Jared, same age. We've talked to him. We've mingled.
See, I've actually seen quite a few.
And we've gotten to know him more, which will make us more primed to pick him. I've heard from Grant that Grant will not even sniff Stats. Grant doesn't want Stats whatsoever.
That interests me.
It's very interesting. Grant
That's
just doesn't.
true. He might not want a QB.
He doesn't want a QB, and
not.
he doesn't know Stats. He doesn't want to put a guy on his team who doesn't know.
That's interesting.
That makes sense.
I mean, Grant, D1 athlete, you can't be getting injured, so what's the least
D1
likely
hobby.
spot to get?
Injured as quarterback.
Just a D1 hobby. Oh, that's a shot.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'll be a QB 100%, so there is no reason for him to go after someone like that.
So that brings us to our next topic. Grant Norman. A lot of people are saying he's the GOAT.
Washed.
/wash.
Well, that's two totally different things.
But, I mean, Grant, the first 2 years in the TFL, absolutely dominated the league. We saw him take nobodies to the championship and and absolutely
Let's name some of those. We had a Jared in there.
Jared in there.
McKinley. We had.
He took a seventh grader in Justin Hicks to the championship.
Did he?
He did. And he storied first 2 years. He was the GOAT after the first 2 years. Third year, he gets beat. And he hasn't won. He's won one playoff game in the past 2 years, ever since winning the championships the first 2 years. What do we think this year holds for Grant?
Gabe, I just want to say, Grant Norman's prime was insane. He peaked in middle school, in freshman year. He was solid. He was one of the best players in the league. In his prime, there was no one better than him. He has fallen off. Last year, I think was we all saw that. I think he's the least skilled captain. I love Grant. Unfortunately, he's not as good as he once was. I don't know what he is. Last year he played a little bit of wide receiver. I don't think that suits him at all. He can't. People think he can play defense. He can't play defense. He can't guard. It put me in one-on-one and he's getting beat. Gabe's going to beat him all day.
Darn right.
Everyone's going to beat him. His defense, I don't know. I don't see it. And at QB play, there's other QBs. When he was in his prime, he was a top 2 QB. I don't even know if he's top 5 QB.
I mean, there were debates when he was in his prime on who was better, him or Israel. Cal wasn't even in the picture.
Right, 'cause he was
it was Israel or Grant.
Right.
And Grant was winning.
No
every
one
time.
was debating Israel versus Grant. Come on. Now.
Israel.
Grant
was debating it. Nobody
Grant
else.
was a clear cut. Now I will say there's 5 QBs at least better than Grant Norman.
Name him.
Timmy, Cal.
Okay.
I'm putting Adam there. I'm gonna put Perk there too.
Wow.
Have we ever seen them throw a ball?
We've never. Really?
I've seen Adam and Perk throw a ball. They're better than Grant Norman. Grant Norman's not good at throwing the ball compared to those guys. And honestly, I'm putting Stets there too.
Wow.
All right, I'm gonna put. I'm gonna.
rookies ahead
I'm
of
putting
one of
Stets.
the best players.
I will
of all
not
time.
stand
Stets
for
there.
this slander.
I'm putting Stets above Grant Norman. Are you kidding me?
No.
Grant Norman cannot throw a football anymore, guys. I think you guys are overrating him because of how
All right,
successful.
I'll cut you off right there because this is absolutely unbelievable.
He has been a successful player.
Unbelievable slander to
He has been a successful
the most
player.
achieved player we have seen in
Right.
TFL history.
Right.
So I mean, you don't
Achieved.
go out
Last
there
year
and
he
slander
took-
Tom Brady because what happens when you slander Tom Brady?
Tom
He
Brady's
throws
still
7
playing.
touchdowns on
Tom
you.
Brady's
is
still
Grant.
playing. Tom Brady's still playing on MVP level. Grant Norman is not. That's the difference between Tom Brady and Grant Norman.
His take was horrible about.
I was slandering Grant Norman last year, and he had a bad year.
Okay, I'm going to 100% disagree with that.
Yeah, look, so...
I'm going to
okay.
100% disagree with that, and here's why. Okay, so I picture of it of like the Los Angeles Rams. They got Jared Goff, their wide receivers. They got Jared Goff thrown to them all 3 years or whatever. And then Matthew Stafford comes in. They're like, holy frick, this guy can do things Jared Goff couldn't even be close to doing. And that's how I felt playing on his team last year because I've played QB a few years. I've had QBs a few years, and it's always been a struggle. But when you got Grant there, you don't have to get that open. You don't have to. And think about the 2 wide receivers he was throwing to last year, Israel and Lucas. That was 2 people that mostly everyone had going in the second round or late first and second round. So he was doing. He had little talent. He had the least amount of talent he's probably had as far as measuring it to other talent in the TFL, and yet he still had them
He won as many playoff games as you.
A 4th and 2. Well,
He didn't win as many regular seasons
Did
games,
you win
though.
one?
I did not.
No, so we won more actually. So you
No.
won more than Eugene. But I mean, he was a 4th and 2 away conversion away from beating the then champions who. Did they go undefeated? Cal go undefeated?
Yeah.
Cal went undefeated.
So the undefeated
entire year.
champions who they didn't really play a close game besides the game in which we played, and Grant very much can still play defense, and now it's definitely going down a little bit. I mean, that's what happens though when you. I mean, what do you expect him to be in his 8-year prime? I mean, that's just unrealistic.
He's not no Tom Brady.
He's-
Nobody's a Tom Brady.
He's been good since 6th grade.
He has been good, but it's absolutely. I will not stand for the slander of saying there's 5 QBs better than him. As far as I know, he's still the best until someone knocks him off. As far as just doing what he does
But-
with the talent.
I need a
Lucas-
chance
Lucas,
to defend myself.
Yeah. Right before you defend yourself, there's an argument here though that Callan has surpassed Grant as a better quarterback. After last year's performance, he didn't lose a single game.
Yeah, but he also was very mixed on QB and wide receiver, and quite
Last
frankly,
year,
yes.
he played mainly quarterback last
I
year.
don't remember anybody else. I don't remember playing.
He was
I
on,
played
Kelson was
twice,
on his
maybe.
team. Mainly, Cal in the playoffs played only quarterback.
Yeah, nobody else did.
And the talent going up this year, I'd be shocked if Cal does, because he could dance around, he could do his little shenanigans. It's gonna be different this year. The talent level is going up. He's not gonna be able to jack around. It's like Patrick Mahomes. I mean, we'll compare him to Patrick Mahomes. This year, what has he got? 8 interceptions? He's had what? 11 interceptions the last 2 years combined, and then this year's at 8 already. Because the league's gonna cut. They're gonna start figuring out a little bit, which I'm not saying the league's figured out Patrick Mahomes or Callan. I mean, he's still gonna be good.
Or he could
still
be
gonna be
Lamar
great.
and still
but
figure him out.
he's going to start making stupid decisions. He's going to start turning the ball over more, and he's going to be beat eventually by a team that plays good
By a guy
defense,
like
plays tight
Grant, who
defense.
you're comparing to Tom
a lot
Brady.
of IQ. A lot of IQ. They can read people who can read his eyes. Someone with good pass rush, which I don't know how often he's facing a good pass rusher. That's huge with Callan because he likes to hold on to the ball and make spectacular plays. And a lot of the time, those worked last year, and he could pull those off. But I think the talent, the gap is closing. I think he's gonna have to change. He's gonna have to be more getting the ball out quick this coming year,
Interesting.
which Grant is phenomenal at. So go ahead.
First of all, I don't know how you guys say you want a playoff game. You want to play in game. That's the difference between me and Grant Norman. Grant Norman did not win a playoff game.
Oh, so
last
the
year.
wild card game, doesn't
He
matter.
did not win a playoff
The
game.
wild card game
whoa,
doesn't
whoa,
matter in the
whoa,
It was a
NFL.
play-in game. He
No.
was a fifth
That's
seed.
a playoff
He was a fifth
It's a playoff
seed.
game.
He played one of the worst teams in the playoffs, and he beat them. All right, that's not compared to the level that I played at in my first game.
Who'd you play though?
I played the team that went to the championship.
Oh, went to the championship. Well, we played the team who
Won.
Yeah, and
the
you lost to
championship.
them. You lost to them.
a lot closer than
A
you
triple
were.
overtime.
So we're going to talk
A
about
lot
how close
closer.
it was.
It was 20.
If you want to talk about how close it was,
you got
if you want to talk about how close it was,
blown out.
Grant's team got blown out by my team in the first game of that season.
Head to head.
Head to head.
Yep.
So you can't sit here and tell me that Grant's team was better than my team when we won the first game of the season.
I would say at the end of the year, absolutely was.
No, it was not.
Absolutely was.
No, it was not.
Oh yeah, because the Steelers are better than the Bills
They
now
were.
too, right?
You're saying one game you got close to. You're saying one game you got close to. You were 0-2 in the regular season. That's awful. That's awful. Grant's team is as good as Lucas's team 2 years ago and Kellison's team the year before that.
Well, we won a playoff game
0-2.
last year, so that would be
0-2.
Dang,
0-2 in the regular season.
I've never seen someone value the regular season so much.
You went 0-2 in the regular season.
I guess you got to do that.
And then you got
We care about winning.
Close.
We care about winning.
You got close. You got close in a playoff game.
And a second
That's
playoff
what you
game after
value.
we won one
That's what you value.
to the then champions.
Grant is nowhere near as close.
So you value the regular
where he was.
season. We're valuing.
I'm saying
playoff
I went
games,
2-0 in a
games.
regular season and beat Grant Norman head to head. I also beat the team that Grant's
First game.
team beat in the playoffs. So I beat every team
And
that Grant's.
here's another thing for you. And me, Grant, Israel, we have never. Is our first game when we played you, and we had never been on the same team ever. None of us played with each other before.
That's a TFL thing. You play on teams you haven't played on many times.
No, I
That
guarantee
happens
you,
all
by
the time.
year 4, there was at least
That happens
few guys
all the
that have played
time.
on the same team. I can almost
You
guarantee
had
it.
played with John
That's
the year
ridiculous.
before that.
Yeah.
What about the year before that? I never played with John or Gabe, and I won a championship.
It's true.
Yeah, well, this is year 4 though. That was year 2. This is a little different. It's gonna be
Grant
it's gonna
can't
be
win.
rare to
Grant
find
can't win a
people who can't
championship.
play with people.
Grant can't win a championship with guys who aren't as good as him.
So Jared, is
He
this
did that.
is
the first and
what I'm
second
hearing
year.
right now that Grant? There's no way he wins a championship
Grant
this year.
is going to be a last place team.
Wow.
He's going to be the last place
Yeah, I
team.
see.
Wow, Matt, chime in.
Chime in.
I think so. It depends what pick Grant gets. I think if Grant,
Didn't he
let's
already
say
pick?
he gets,
No, he does not.
yeah.
Oh.
So let's say he's like 4 or 5. I think he's gonna get 2 decent wide receivers, and I really think he's gonna go far. And I don't think Tim is gonna be. I mean, maybe Cal could be as good as a quarterback, but I think Grant has the game
Wow.
to
Matt,
win the championship.
speaking of draft picks,
Yes.
where do you think you're
You
going to get
will.
drafted?
First or
where do you
second
think
round?
that you're-
No one knows how I.
Kind of a wild card.
And so I feel like I'm gonna be like bottom 3.
Really?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's
I think you're under-evaluating yourself.
Well, no one knows how I play, so I don't know how.
True.
You tell us, how do you play?
So would you say you're a sleeper? You know, you have
I'm
a lot
hoping.
to
What-
offer.
what's your game style?
I'm hoping I'm a sleeper.
Would you play QB?
I'd play anything. I'd play quarterback or
Yeah, for
both
both
teams.
teams.
What's the strength?
Any team.
What's the strength of your game?
I don't know.
Just
I don't freak
right?
out.
There's none.
No.
Yeah.
But hey, if I'm last pick
mediocre
and
at
then I
everything.
become where I'm like the best,
That's a
Be a
hero.
story.
That's
Yeah.
a hero right there.
So here's the question: do you think after this year, depending on the result of Jackson's team, if Jackson's team doesn't win a single game and looks awful, does he get replaced as the 6th team? Does it happen where the 5th team got replaced 3 years in a row, or do you? Or do
Well,
you
who's
think,
taking it over is my question.
I think someone should.
Who's
Like,
taking it over?
it's-
Israel?
No.
Like no, Tim. What if Tim?
Do you think if Tim
Tim's
has a
all
year
up
under his
against
belt?
not being a captain, though. So
True.
I think we're TFL is too easy to give up on captains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Jackson's first year. If he doesn't resign, I don't see any need for
Well,
him.
captains have resigned.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't know.
We
I think
see-
both of them resigned.
I would like to
both
say
resign?
that my year of captaining, I'm not a stud. I'm not as good as the other four.
There was 4th time, yeah.
4 captains. So, I'm the bottom of the captain, right? So I'm going to get the number 1 pick. So I get Jackson, who, he's a captain now. He's obviously good. But then I got a guy like Colton.
Right, and that's the problem with the league back then.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm saying,
we're always upgrading.
So what I'm
The
saying-
league is better.
what I'm saying is if I had somebody not like Colton, if I had somebody a little better,
Okay, sorry,
I feel like my team would have been pretty good. And I'll give him credit because he had 2 touchdowns, like full length against somebody's
Against
team.
Jared. It was
Against
actually
Against
Jared.
you.
But
But that was his only good game. I literally just chucked it up, praying, and he came down with it. He probably had his eyes closed.
That.
So
I just want to speak on that game. That game for me, I did not take it seriously. I understand. Credit to Colin for getting those 2 touchdowns.
just catching the ball.
I was not expecting him to. I was not expecting Kelsey to even throw to him.
Yeah.
So half the time I was not paying any attention. But credit is given where credit is due. And Colin had 2 touchdowns against me. I will own up to it.
And then, so I'm not a quarterback. I played quarterback in this PAL league.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't win a game. I'm not good at quarterback.
Exactly.
When I was a receiver,
We scored a
we
touchdown.
didn't. What was that kid's name?
Octavian.
Weekend or whatever?
Octavian.
Yeah, we scored a touchdown that year.
Yeah, that dude was
Didn't
just
score
quick.
one.
Yeah.
There we
Carlson
go.
leading the team, baby.
Yeah, baby. But
Yeah.
when I was a running back receiver, we were championship bound. We lost, but we were close. So when I'm
Yeah,
not,
you got a clear role. I think there's
Yeah.
most of the league's got a clear role. There's a few guys that are up in the air though.
so I feel like that's why my team wasn't very good because I wasn't a quarterback. I was a receiver, and then I had a guy like Colton who, if I throw it to him, he maybe touches it.
Right.
So I just wouldn't defend myself and my captain.
Yeah, hey.
Bears.
We respect that.
I don't think if Jackson has an unsuccessful season, I don't think unless he resigns, I don't think. And he's been in the league for so long. He's a valued player of the TFL. I don't think there's any reason to take him out of the.
I think he'll win a game. Maybe not
If he plays
40.
Grant, I see him winning a game.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, that's
Well, he's second pick, right?
Yeah.
Who's it? No.
Jackson's second pick, so he's probably going to get Tim or Adam. Is what I'm
He's gonna have a
thinking.
good QB.
He's not gonna get Shell. What do we think about Shell? I've heard
Shell is interesting to me.
Rumors definitely second round.
second round. Is that?
Yes,
Definitely
definitely second round.
Absolutely.
Top of the second. I don't know. Chell is. If I get Chell, I don't know if I'm happy or if I'm sad. I don't know what he. I don't know what he can do.
Yeah.
He's a grown man out there playing football, but
but not pads.
His
It's
back
two-hand
is
tap.
covered in hair.
It's not. It's
in a
not
good
tackle.
way.
It's two-hand tap. So
first of all,
He'll
I'm
smart.
interested.
He's smart.
yeah.
I think. Both
I think he
mentioned-
is smart.
He could very well be the best pass rusher this coming year.
Oh,
I said
there we
something
go.
very similar to
There
that,
we
Lucas.
go.
He could be.
If you have him on defense, I'm
Pass
putting him
rushing.
at pass rushing.
Don't care who
On
we have.
offense, I don't know. I don't think he's a QB.
Walker.
I don't know how well he can catch the ball.
Screenplay.
I don't know how well.
He's an all-time center statue long shot.
One
I don't know how well.
receiver.
I don't know how well Chell plays football.
You have like a screenplay for him where he's the center and he hits it back and then you
But
run
that's
left and
something.
right and then he goes.
That's something that we're gonna see at the combine. We'll see how well he can catch.
Oh, is that
At the
are we
combine.
actually doing that?
Oh yeah.
That is the plan.
'Cause I heard rumors.
And that's gonna determine how high he goes in the second round.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. So, it was great to hear from some TFL members today. It's an exclusive league. It's great to be a part of it. And guys, we're really looking forward to having.
We're gonna
this
end
year.
with a little game. I got a little game.
Yeah,
for us.
Lucas is gonna end us with a little game.
All right, here's the game we're gonna play. It's gonna be quick. We just want a quick, short answer from whoever wants to chime in. We're gonna name a player, and you're gonna give an NFL player comparison. Just
Okay.
quick. You might give you a few seconds to think about it, but we're gonna start off with the commissioner himself, Gabe Collinger.
Are you naming the player or am I naming the
You
player?
can, anyone can. Your choice. Go ahead.
Interesting.
What are we all?
You absolutely can, but if you can't think of one right away, then you might just want to skip.
Here's mine. Jake Dressler, Tyler Lockett.
Wait, I thought we were talking about you.
Well, you're talking about you.
Oh, I'm naming a comparison
Specifically.
for myself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Oh.
name the player, and then everyone's gonna say who
Oh,
they
okay.
compare to, and then I'll name the next player. We're not gonna do everyone. We're just gonna do a few guys.
Got it. So me,
Yep. Gabe Collinger.
Calvin Johnson. That's pretty
Okay.
fair.
Kelson, what do you think?
You look like a Claypool. He's good and he's young.
I was going to say an Odell, on a Giants Odell.
Not
Giants,
an
not a Browns
That's
Odell.
respectful.
Giants Odell.
I'm gonna say an Amari Cooper because
Mark Cooper's a little small though.
no, but your route running is very good. You have good hands. I like it.
Claypool's huge.
I'll say an old Pierre Garcon. like a couple of years ago, on his prime in the
fair.
Colts. Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair.
All right, next up we're gonna go Braden Hicks.
Braden Hicks.
Yep, you're absolutely.
Braden Hicks.
I
I have.
Marshawn Lynch.
Are we going out of
Marshawn
order?
Just,
Lynch.
I mean, if
He's
you,
a
if,
tank,
you-
dude.
if you can
You see his
think of
beast
one,
run?
we can go in order. But if you can't think of one, we can come back to you.
Braden Hicks is Kadarius Toney.
Darius, Tony. Wow.
I'm gonna-
He's a Giants.
What do you
receiver.
think?
I'm saying Marshawn.
Marshawn.
He's just
Fair
a
enough.
tank.
That's
He's
fair
just
enough.
a big body.
If there was a running back position in the TFL,
He'd
Braden
be
would
it.
fill that.
He'd be it.
I'm going to say a healthy Saquon Barkley because he can make anyone miss. He can catch the ball. He can run the ball. Do it all.
I was gonna say Saquon as well, but I guess if I was gonna choose a second man, probably DK Metcalf.
Wow.
I was actually gonna say I was thinking of him or Tyreek Hill because I think he's the
Tyreek Hill.
fastest.
That's a good one,
I think
too.
he's like the fastest in the league. So.
That's really good.
All right, next we are going to go with Jackson Turnbull.
Jackson Turnbull.
Ooh.
That's interesting to me.
He's like a Zach Ertz to me.
A Zacher.
Really? Zach Ertz?
Tight end,
Zach,
too.
right? Is that the what I'm thinking of?
Tight end.
Yeah.
They just got traded to
Yeah.
Arizona.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's not bad.
In his prime, he's really good.
Yeah.
Zach Ertz.
I'm just throwing out random names, man.
This might be
I
a
think-
little ambitious, but
I think-
I'm going to stick with the same team. I'm going to say DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm actually
See
gonna.
that. I could see that.
I mean, he's tall and lengthy, and he has a spectacular catch.
Right.
But there are some games where he could disappear in D-Hop. We've seen it a couple times where he kind
True.
of disappears in a few games.
For-
He's
True.
the next
I like
D-Hop, but
that
white.
too.
It's insane.
True.
Gabe?
I had one and then I just forgot it.
Yeah, I can do those off the top of my head.
Jared, who you got? Matt?
I don't
You
have
chime in
anyone
whenever?
at the moment.
None?
I'm gonna go.
Oh.
I'm gonna go. Allen Robinson with a good QB.
All right, Alan Sarver, so
Robin.
good
All
QB.
I'm gonna
He's got
go.
one right now, just
I'm gonna go Michael Thomas.
Michael
I feel like
Thomas.
he's
That's,
Michael
good too.
Thomas.
That's good too.
I think he's OJ now, or not. I think he's Odell Beckham now.
Oh, wow.
So above.
Jackson likes to get pooped on.
Like he's.
All right, we're going to go two more. Just for the sake of time, we're going to go Israel Schumann right now.
Oh my gosh.
Israel Schumann.
Hold on.
That's a good one.
First that comes to mind, I can start us off. I'm going to go Baker Mayfield because he is good, but he's probably not good enough to take a good team to win a championship. But he
Definitely not good.
can win him a playoff game, but he cannot win a championship playing QB. And then I mean, if he wants to play wide receiver, I mean that's just a whole different thing. He's just like a decent slot receiver, like a Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
But-
Actually, I'm gonna go with for Israel
Okay, good one.
Marquise Brown.
Marquise Brown.
As a receiver, he's had dropped problems.
Yep.
But he's fast and he can get open.
I'm gonna go Kyler Murray if Kyler Murray had no arms.
Armless Kyler Murray. Still
I-
very elusive.
I'll go with Curtis Painter from the Colts years ago. I stick to my. I think he is.
Curtis
I stick to it. I think he's the worst player in the league. I think he's gonna be a bust. I don't think he's a good quarterback.
Alright.
So-
Kelson, you got it.
I'm gonna go with the Carson Wentz of the last year.
Okay, I can
Eagles.
see that.
Oh, on the Eagles last year.
Yeah, because
Yeah, I can see
he threw it and hit the back wall.
So
Yeah.
bum.
I mean,
So bum.
and he can run, but
Okay. With two good angles. Carson. Okay.
Who do we want to do last?
he said, "What would you say?"
Curtis Painter. He
even know who
was
that
on the
is.
Colts. The
Yeah.
worst.
When they
player-
went 2-14, the
Yeah.
year after Manning had his neck surgery,
No, he
and
went
before Luck,
He
it
went
was in
0
between that.
He went.
Well, no,
0
Luck got
13
drafted the year.
after.
No, it was Manning was out because of his neck for an entire year.
Yes.
And then the next year,
Yeah,
once
he
Manning
played
got
that year,
left,
and then
no,
Luck.
Curtis was 0-13. A new guy came in and he was 2-1, so he finished with 2-14.
Curtis Painter.
But Curtis Painter sucks. He's
Yeah.
the worst quarterback ever.
It's been whispered over there.
Alright. We'll do two more, because we're just going to throw a little another person in there just to have some fun with it. Chell. Well, we're going with Ryan Chell. The rookie.
Chell.
The rookie. But,
We got this
yeah.
game.
Chell. What do you think about Chell?
I'm gonna go with Quentin Nelson. Good. Pass rushing QB if he was on defense.
Anyone else? We got first thing that came to mind for the defense side is J.J. Watt. Being an absolutely
Terror.
unbelievable
It's a terror.
defense player. Offensive side, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like a guy who I just gotta think about my fantasy team because I have a lot of non-starters on it.
Frymouth.
Yeah, Pat Freiermuth. That's a great comparison. Pat Freiermuth. He's definitely tight end body. He's got a tight end body.
Does
A
have a
little
tight end.
undersized, but definitely tight end. I like that comparison, but I'll be a little nicer to him and just say he's like an Eric Ebron.
Okay. Well, Ebron's worse than Frymouth.
Yeah, I know. But I just wanted to go with starter. Not everyone might not know Freiermuth. Nelson, you got a comparison?
He looks like
He's looking confident.
a Richie Incognito.
So racist.
So he's a bully. He's a bully.
Oh, yeah, bully, not racist.
Bully ball.
Maybe both.
He does.
Is he bully?
Shaw would play some bully ball.
Chell would play some bully ball.
He's like a Taylor Lewan.
Yeah, I don't know. I think your comparison, Jared, was probably my favorite.
Quentin Nelson.
Quentin Nelson was just fantastic. One of the best blockers in the league.
If not the.
I agree with that one. Yeah, we're gonna go with that.
All right, and for the final ranking, we will go with another rookie. We will go with Ethan Stenzel.
Ooh.
That would be our final person we compare. I tried to leave the guys here out of it just so no feelings are hurt.
It's fair.
So we will go with Ethan Cecil, the newbie of the OG newbie, because he is the true newbie.
Yes.
Out of people that the guy who kind of
Right.
new to the whole TFL
Atmosphere.
tradition,
Well,
the
Perk,
atmosphere. Perk is, but he's been around it a little bit.
Word on the street is that Stets has been trying to get in the league for 2 years now.
Is it really?
And he's been sending videos.
He's been
of him
sending
putting
videos. He's
work,
very
so
excited about the league this year.
He's definitely working hard.
What do we? What do we gotta
He's a
say?
pocket pass. I mean, he's a complete pocket pass. He's kind of big. I will go with a Big Ben in between his prime
Oh.
and what he is now. So I'm not going to say right now because that's pitiful. That's an embarrassment. That would be the biggest insult you could ever give a single football player in their entire life.
Right.
So I'm going to say in between there, like he's not. I mean, Big Ben had a great prime. Stats isn't going to. I mean, that'd be big to expect him to come in there and be a prime Big Ben like player.
Maybe a
but I
little
think it'd be
before
a
his
little
prime.
worse than that. Yeah, maybe a younger guy, maybe a little younger.
Younger Big Ben.
But I do think he's a pure pocket passer, and I think that's what Big Ben is. So that's my comparison. And he's big.
Here's the thing. Here's what I have for Stets. I think that he is Russell Wilson.
So you think he's elusive? I don't know how.
I think he's a little bit elusive.
I was gonna say Jalen Hurts.
Wow, that's big
a
run.
lot of running QBs, I guess.
Well, because
would
the only time I've seen him throw is when we were at Callens, and the dude had cleats on, and nobody could catch him.
I like
Yeah.
a Derek Carr.
He throws a good deep ball.
A Derek Carr could be very
Derek Carr.
Or Derek Carr's pretty good too.
I'm gonna go with the Julian Edelman. 'Cause Julian Edelman can throw the ball, but he can also play wide receiver.
But I don't think
Interesting.
Stets is playing wide receiver very much.
I talked to Stets, and he wants to be a versatile kind of guy, one who can play QB and wide receiver, kind of wherever you need him. Julian Edelman was.
So Jared's looking at stats.
Yeah, I am looking at Stets. I'm looking at. Well, I was. I don't think I'm going to get him at 3. I mean, if he's going to be available at 3, but I think there's going to be better players on the board at 3.
Like who?
Perk Adam and yeah.
Chow.
Matt, you got any thoughts on Stets?
I do not
Do you
know
even
Stets.
know who Stets is?
No, I do not.
Okay, fair enough.
Longer.
The Milkmonger was his nickname.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Stets is looking good nowadays. I love to see it.
He's a big boy.
Well,
He's a little boy.
Fellers, thanks for joining us for that just a little fun game to end it. This probably went way longer. No one's ever gonna watch all of this. Gabe can edit. Gabe could absolutely edit this to maybe make it down into a decent amount of time.
How long was that?
We're at 49 minutes.
Oh wow.
Dang.
I think throw some commercials in there. We can be an hour.
There you
Yeah.
go.
We could be an hour
We
show.
could make some commercials
Absolutely.
right
Like the Pat McAfee Trojan commercials.
Yeah, but we enjoy it. We're looking for a great TFL season. I'm sure there'll be more discussion, more. The Combine will absolutely bring to you live, and we'll have highlights
now.
from that.
All 0
And-
people.
And when is this being played? December?
Oh, do we have a day?
January?
We don't have a specific date yet, but it's going to be over Christmas break.
As
Christmas
Callens,
break? Early
to
January?
leave.
Callan has yet to call.
He said he was gonna do that. Like 2
He's
weeks
getting
ago.
there.
Who's
All right.
calling?
The Ash Center. All right. Thanks for joining us today, guys.
Absolutely.